I remember just being absolutely agape, agog. I was like, I can't believe what they're showing me, right? So the wall thickness of this craft is basically 3 inches, if you can see it, 3 inches, typical wall thickness thick. They had a cockpit, right? They had a kind of a cargo or crew compartment, which was the larger kind of rectangular version, and then they had the engine on the back, right? And so how they then put these different modules together is still I still struggle to fully understand. But so the surfaces of these different compartments, these different modular pieces would come together, and you would see the van der Waals forces of the molecules, almost like fibrous energy, begin to touch each other, and then it create a solid structure line. So there's a something in F1 racing called a monocoque chassis. It's one chassis. Well, they would take three different pieces or multiple pieces and create a solid monocoque structure from that, because they would all come together, and you would hear it go bing, and then it becomes solid. So that's how they were structurally putting all of this together. And this was also the same race that showed me, and I think it was a different visit. I might be wrong. Again, the really difficult and frustrating part is your mind is compartmentalized. You do not remember or are allowed to remember entering and exiting a StarCraft. These are the same group that showed me how they materialized that clothing on that crew member that stood on that pad. So, e.g., they printed energy resonantly around this crew member. No seams, no Velcro, no buttons, no zippers, nothing. He just stood there, whoop, bing, pulse a light, kept right on walking like it was just another day at the office, which apparently it was. So, the 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 definition between physical reality and time and dimension and energy at their level of technology and consciousness and ability to affect becomes a bit blurred. And when you are on a starcraft, not only are you or your consciousness is beginning to resonate and expand towards the state of the star people that are on board. Most starcraft are transdimensional, and I've shared this before. They're bigger on the inside than the outside, but that also has dimensional effects on your physicality and, more importantly, your consciousness. And I'll go even a couple of steps further. Different rooms in a starcraft, and most especially a mothership, will have different dimensional characteristics, capabilities that your consciousness needs to adjust to or not. So this is getting extremely complicated and difficult to recall. There are things on a starcraft you will not cognize because you're not understanding it.